Hey guys, today we're doing a short review of the iPhone 17 Pro. I've been using the phone for about 2 to 3 weeks, give or take. And I honestly I didn't think about buying it when it was released because of the many issues we saw with the scratch gate, and then I saw the comparisons online. I saw there wasn't really a big difference between my 16 Pro Max, but I found a good deal on it. So it's like, okay, that's a really good price. I'll get it. See, it will probably be worth it. It's a new phone. So, anyways, so I got the device, and as you guys can see, the design is not as bad as people say. Okay, on the videos, it looks bad, but in person, it looks a little better. It's very industrial, but it's way worse compared to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Okay, it's just another level. Like the 16 Pro Max feels like jewelry, like a piece of art or something nice and fashionable, beautiful to look and to hold, because it's titanium. But this it just looks like it's hard to explain. It doesn't look expensive. It doesn't feel expensive. And it's just it feels like we regress to the iPhone 6 era, like 10 years ago. So I don't like that. But let's see what I like. I like the screen. It's an amazing screen, just as amazing as the one last year. Okay, the new reflectivity display that has anti-reflection stuff. Honestly, I couldn't see much difference between my 16 Pro Max. Maybe it's like 15% less reflections, which is not a lot if you think about it. But it's a really nice, sharp, bright screen. Okay, just as good as the one last year, and probably as the one on the 15 Pro Max. Honestly, I think you only see a big difference if you are upgrading from the 14 Pro Max and below. Otherwise, it's a great screen. Okay, the sound is amazing. Honestly, this is the best sound I've ever heard in any smartphone. Okay, iPhone always does this, and this year is the same thing. It's just amazing. Like, I feel like I'm watching a movie in a cinema or something like that. It's just really good. And I've tested over 40 smartphones this year alone: S25 Ultra, Vivo X200 Ultra, the top of the line from Motorola, like all brands you can imagine. I tried Xiaomi, and the iPhone comes on top in terms of sound. Anyways, the processor is as fast as always is. No complaints there. Honestly, I couldn't see much difference compared to the 16 Pro Max. It doesn't overheat. I never had overheatings on my 16 Pro Max either, so I don't see the point of going to aluminum. But anyways, I don't feel a difference, but it's super fast, no slowdowns. But the software is shit. Let's just get it out there. Like, the iOS 26, in my opinion, is one of the worst software releases Apple has ever made. It just proves that, Tim Cook needs to go. Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, it's so buggy. It's like a buggy mess, and it's not as good looking, as other systems. Like, always, I had the iPhone. First iPhone was the 3G. I had every iPhone ever released, and when I had iPhone 3G, since then I always prefer iOS because it was always the best one ever. But now, after iOS 26, and the first time in my life, I'm actually enjoying more to use the Pixel Android 16. My Pixel 8 Pro, because it's much more fluid and less lags. So let's talk about the cameras, okay? And that's one of my biggest disappointments this year. Is actually a downgrade. Okay, I'm gonna explain you why. This year we had a few changes that on paper look really good, and all the YouTubers, paid YouTubers, that's what I like to think. Okay, because I don't get any free phones. All the YouTubers said, oh, we have a new 4x camera that's so much better compared to last year. The zoom camera, and we have a new selfie camera that's so much better. And honestly, it's not. And I'm gonna show you why. Let's start with the problems. Can you see this photo that I took with this Volkswagen Beetle? Can you see how noisy it is? But it's not too bad. But it's a portrait mode photo, okay? But there's no night mode. Exactly. So now a 4x photo with the 4x camera on portrait mode, and again, no night mode activation. And look at this photo. Can you see? It's not a really good photo. I'm gonna show you the details right now. Look how much noise there is right there. And that's because there's no night mode. But why is there no night mode? Look how much was the ISO on this portrait mode photo. 8,000. For those who know about photography, that's bad for a phone. So why is that? That's basically because Apple took away the night mode on portrait mode photos for the iPhone 17 series, all of them. So from the iPhone 12 to the 16 Pro, you had night mode when taking a portrait at night, and that gave you really good results, if you kept a little bit still. But now, there's not that anymore. So like, I compared my old photos from my iPhone 16 Pro on the portrait mode at night, they were just much better. So actually, if you actually like portrait mode photos, at night, just don't get the iPhone 17, or 17 Pro. Look at this comparison. The first photo was taken with portrait mode, okay? On the kind of low light, right? But there's no night mode. And the second photo was not in portrait mode, but it was with night mode. Can you see the difference? It's the second photo with night mode, but no portrait mode. It's so much sharper because now the portrait mode doesn't have night mode anymore. Like the portrait mode photo could look as sharp as the as the second photo if it had night mode, but Apple took it away. I have no idea why. If Apple actually gave us a really good and large telephoto sensor, that would be okay, because then portrait mode wouldn't be needed that much. But the sensor is still tiny, okay? It's slightly larger than the last year, but it's still tiny, especially compared to phones like the Oppo devices, the Find X9 Pro, Find X8 Ultra, Vivo X200 Ultra, whatever, I don't know what Apple is doing. And actually, the telephoto this year seems to be less sharp compared to the one last year with the 5X. And I have no idea why. Like, maybe Apple changed the lenses or something? But anyways, let's talk about the other, cameras. In daylight, the photos are great, okay? All cameras are great in the low light, in daylight, especially the main camera. It's still the same main camera as before. Same thing, hasn't changed. The ultra wide as well, same thing. Honestly, couldn't see much difference compared to last year. Okay, portrait mode during the daytime is fine. Okay, it's fine. The 4x zoom during daytime is okay. Not as good as the 5x one on the 16 Pro Max. Okay, but it's still okay. But the lens is just not as sharp, honestly. But it's okay. Okay, the photos are okay, they're good. They're just not as good as last year, okay, compared to the 16 Pro Max. The only thing that's better, and it's slightly better, is the selfie camera that I'm gonna show you right now. The selfie camera is slightly better, slightly, and you have the new cool feature now that you can change your orientations. Look at the selfie camera at night, especially. I saw a good improvement, okay, but it's still not night and day difference. And phones like the Pixel 10 Pro give a really good competition to Apple. But anyways, apart from that, the videos are fine. We still don't have 4K 120 frames per second on the zoom camera. Something that all Chinese brands are already doing. I have no idea why Apple is not doing it. So honestly, this year it feels like a downgrade in so many areas, and an upgrade in one or two things. Like the charging is a little bit faster. The battery is lasting me about 1 hour more. I have compared to my 16 Pro last year. I had the 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max, okay? So I'm comparing the 16 Pro the battery. So it's 1 hour better. Then you get the faster charging, 70% in 30 minutes, but it only works on the Apple proprietary charger, at least for now. And then you get a slightly better selfie camera. That's it, okay? Honestly, it's not worth the upgrade. Just get a 16 Pro Max if you want to buy one, or stay on the 16 Pro Max or 15 Pro Max, It's not worth it, Apple this year just didn't work. The iPhone 17 Pro line didn't work. The 17 baseline, it was a really good upgrade. But honestly, they upgraded for something that was already, used in Android devices many years ago, like 120 hertz, But anyways, that's it. That's my honest opinion, okay?